Your wife is exhausted from trying to teach you how to love her best. As men, we get zoned in on doing the things that we want to do rather than the things that we need to do in order to make our relationship thrive. Think about it. Why does your wife feel alone in the relationship? Why does she feel disconnected from you? Why does she feel that the only way that she can get you to listen is to raise her voice and say harsh things? It's because the things that you do show her no love. The things that you do push her away rather than pull her close. And this took me fucking ages to work out, because as a man doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing in my marriage and in my relationship, I couldn't quite understand why my wife was unhappy. I was doing all the things I thought I was supposed to be doing, providing financially, giving us a lifestyle that we thought we wanted, and doing all of these materially focused things. And yet our relationship was falling apart. And I never could understand why my wife didn't feel my love. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't walking away. I wasn't going out of my way to make her life difficult. But what I was failing to do was observe and see the signs that things were not okay. I was expecting my wife to enjoy the parts of our relationship that I enjoyed and ignore the rest. I wanted her to be more like me. I paid no attention to the things that she needed from me in order to feel safe, in order to find her peace and happiness, and ultimately in order to have a thriving connection together. I was ignorant. I ignored it all. I just expected her to be happy with all of the things that I was doing and not complain about it. Let's take something as simple as love languages. My love language is physical touch. However, my wife's love language is words of affirmation. So it didn't matter how many times I hugged her, cuddled her, gave her a kiss, or tried to be physically intimate with her in order to express my love and devotion and connection with her, she didn't feel it the same. She did not feel the connection like I did. She did not feel the connection in the way that I wanted her to, because she is not me. And so every day when I thought that giving her a hug, giving her a kiss goodbye before we went to work, as she walked past, tapping her bum, when I thought all of these things were letting her know how much I loved her, I couldn't understand why she didn't feel it. I couldn't understand why, after years of her telling me that she just wasn't happy, that she thought that separation was the only way forward. For me, it came out of the blue. I didn't understand where it had come from or why it had arisen. And it was because I was ignoring the sheer fact that my wife does not feel love like I do. She was trying to tell me time and time again that she was unhappy. She was trying to show me that she needed words of affirmation, that she needed to hear my appreciation in order to feel loved. And I was ignoring it. I just expected her to feel love in exactly the same way that I did. So no wonder she was pushed away. No wonder she felt disconnected, because I was reluctant to do the things that actually allowed her to feel loved, cherished, and cared for. Something as simple as telling her how beautiful she looked in the dress she was wearing. Something to say how appreciative I was of her in tidying the house, making dinner, looking after the kids while I'd been at work. These simple things that verbally would have affirmed my love, gratefulness and appreciation of her would have brought her closer to me. They would have brought her closer in connection, in intimacy, in feeling loved and cared for. And let's be fucking real, they're not difficult. It's not hard to once a day tell your wife how much you appreciate her, how much you love her, how much you enjoy her presence and all of the things that she does for you. But in my mind, it was me having to go out of my way to change and be different in order to, quote unquote, satisfy her. I was having to go above and beyond. And what did this then do? Kick in the competition mentality. Well, you don't put in all this extra effort, so why do I have to? You're not doing all these above and beyond things, why should I? And I started to play the victim. So all my wife wanted from all of these things was for me just to love and care for her more. And I made it out to be a massive fucking problem. I made it out as if it was such a laborious and significant amount of effort task to do so and make it happen. What the fuck is that? What does that say about you as a man if that is your mentality? That just showing your wife love in the way that she feels it is too much of a task. Because what we don't understand about love languages is that whilst we have our priority love language and the one that we speak the most, everything is on a spectrum. Everything has a dark side and a light side. So what does that mean when we talk about love languages? It means that we hear or feel or experience the love language in its fullest in the priority method or means that we're connected to. So if your love language is physical touch, you feel loved more with those physical engagements. If your love language is words of affirmation, you feel love more when you hear it, when you get that appreciation, when those little comments are made every single day that light you up. That's when you feel the love the most. But the opposite end of that spectrum tears your love down and the feeling of love faster. So on the physical touch side, if your love language is physical touch, and every time you touch your partner, they make no acknowledgement of it, that will tear you down inside. If your partner goes no way near you, no hugs, no kisses, shows you no physical affection, then that is a resounding megaphone of get away from me, I don't love you. And so we have to understand that the subtleties to prevent those extremes on that spectrum are crucial. It could be something as simple as sitting on the couch next to each other and just touching hands or putting your hand on your partner's leg. It could be that simple to speak their love language. On the words of affirmation, the opposite end of that spectrum is if your wife needs verbal affirmation to feel love, then every criticism, every judgment, every little shitty comment that you make is like a punch in the face. She feels that hurt and that pain deeply because it's the opposite end of the spectrum to her love language. So think about this. Think about how your wife feels love best. And is she trying to tell you that she doesn't feel it at the moment? Is she trying to tell you that she needs you to communicate your love differently? And start to consider what you could change in order to make her feel your love, rather than just doing what you want to do and hoping it works.